I would like all the panelists to, introduce yourself and your brand, and then we'll start with the session.
Hello. Hi, I am Mohit Malik. I head technology for Chayos. I take care of the hardware, software, data, and product teams. Also involved in a bit of marketing part of it.
I am Pepper Nagori. I'm a founding partner at Greener Cafe. We're a plant-based restaurant chain sort of place, and then I run operations and a couple of other functions for the business.
Hi everyone, my name is Dushyant Singh. I'm the founder of a specialty coffee brand, Coffee Sutra, and we also have a few other brands in F&B. So very excited to be here, and let's have a great session.
Thanks, Ev.
Happy to.
Dushyant, yeah.
Hi, I'm Pranav. I'm part of Kapi Machines. We supply coffee equipments and been a part of the industry for the past 15, 18 years. So yeah, and great to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pranav. So today's discussion will explore how brands are adopting technology. As we all know that, we are thriving in the world of tech, AI, talking about Chat GPT's become our best friend, especially if we see Gen Z. Like if I see my son, he has answer to everything. He'll say, Mama, ho jayega, Chat GPT hai na. My homework will be done, everything will be done. So I think so. I don't know where we are heading towards. Let's see. But yes, tech, we can't live without it also. So in the beverage sector, today's discussion will explore how brands are adopting technology to enhance efficiency, maintain quality, and evolve their beverage offerings. So, and that all without losing the soul of a great cup, which we all cherish. So, beginning with you, Mohit. What does smart brewing mean to you personally, like, at Chayos? Is it more about the technology, the consistency, or the customer experience which you offer at Chayos?
It starts with customer experience, and it is only customer experience. Technology is just a means to that goal. So back in 2015 is when we realized that, if we have to make this big, consistency is going to be the king. And, we did things. We gave a very bold promise to our customers saying that, you tell what cup of tea you need and we'll make it for you. Now, we gave that challenge we gave that proposition to the customer, and then they came back and said, I get the same cup of chai in this cafe, but not in the other cafe if I order the same chai. And that was the biggest problem that we had to solve. And then we started, building the tech around it, the entire automation of building automated tea brewing machines. So today, this was like back in 2017 is when we launched our first machine. And it brews the cup of chai just the same way as we brew it in our cafes by hand. And we have just done the automation around the entire piece. But the thing is that machine can brew 80,000 different varieties. So now and out of which 68,000 have already been tried by customers. And we deliver each cup freshly brewed day in and day out with consistency. And that has been I would say, one of the reasons for us going big and opening, wherever possible, we can open the cafes, yeah.
That's super. So, building on to this, because we know that Cafe Greener, is one of the oldest cafes with, serving organic products and, having a very holistic menu. So, where do you see the next wave of innovation at your cafe? I would say wave of innovation in beverage automation or beverage evolving. Is it personalization, AI, smart vending, or like something else at Cafe Greener?
I think Greener Cafe originally was focused on making everything by hand.
As you told.
Objective, and it was specialty, artisanal, were the keywords we used to have. But as we started thinking of the idea of scale and going across cities and territories, is when remaining consistent with our offering was becoming more and more important. Also, our array of beverage offering is really diverse. We are one of the early people to introduce a kombucha or offer a cascara coffee or get very early into matcha-based products. Products like Lepache, which are again other Mexican fermented drinks. Now the challenge for us always had been the same product coming out of the same unit also would not remain consistent in the next unit. So to have means is something we've experimented through some partners, some freezing mechanism, some storing mechanism, so that the replication of that could be done across cities. It's still challenging. Automation, I think, is very necessary because that is one thing that can ensure consistency, which is our key requirement for this. Like Mohit said, right, to have that perfectly brewed chai like a person individually would do it, being done by a machine. If we could do certain beverages to just remain consistent and offer that experience to our consumer, that's very important. We've also got to focus on aesthetic experience. So I've also had discussions with AI, because you mentioned AI, to have reference pictures of each dish to be mapped and rejected and accepted. So automation of that level. Of course, SOPs is something this industry takes its pride in to establish and reuse. We continue to improve and innovate our SOPs also because we're into kind of a mixed category of beverage selling. We intend to create bottled products of everything we make. We're big in a smoothie category, and if we could find solutions to package that through automations and yet be stable without stabilizers and preservatives, then I think it'll be a huge victory for us.
That's amazing. So over to you, Dashant. So when we talk about Coffee Sutra, so have you noticed a change in what customers expect from their coffee experience today, like since when you've gone? And how has this influenced your brewing process or menu design?
I think we are in the best phase in India right now where customer exactly knows what is he wants in a cafe, right? I think we should give credit to the social media for that. And like I remember when we were young, the only way we could learn something or see, either you go to that country to see that, or maybe someone who has been there tells you, okay, मैं वहाँ गया था, मैंने इस तरीके की चीज़ देखी थी. But I think because of the social media now, everyone is well educated. So when they come to a cafe, they already have a knowledge about, and they already are very confident about whatever they want and they want to order. So what I've seen in last few years, that earlier when people used to come, they used to ask us, what do we have the best? Now they come to us, they know how to go through the menu, and they tell us, okay, I want a particular coffee in this particular style, make it with this ratio. So they have their own preferences, which I think it is good also in a way that sometimes we also learn a lot from our customers, because at the end of the day we are doing it for them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fun. Yeah. Okay, so moving on to you. Your business is actually more B2B.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you balance the use of machines, and how do you convince your actually customers that that it is with the human touch, especially in an industry which celebrates the handcrafted beverages?
So it's easier now.
Okay.
I think with such great people, I think, and as Dushyant mentioned, that coffee now consumers understand, right? But for a lot of tier 2, tier 3 cities, it continues to be a problem where people are like, so the biggest problem in the coffee industry that I think is lack of trained staff, right?
Okay.
And everybody which wants to scale at a certain point would require trained staff, so that consistency of from a cafe A to a B at different location has to be the same. For tier 2, it's about lack of trained staff. They always come to us asking for a fully automatic machine, or just press a button and I should get a cup of coffee, where I think we do a lot of consulting and training to explain them that, guys, a consumer will not pay for it.
Sure.
For larger chains, I think we are working towards automating part of it. I think handcrafted is the only way to go as far as India currently is concerned.
Okay.
We haven't reached levels where efficiency like a Japan would take over. We still celebrate coffee, right? So we are trying to automate some parts of the processes. So steaming milk, part
Okay.
of tamping of coffee, right? Is where we think is where the industry is growing. So you still have artisanal coffee, but consistent across outlets using automation means that we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that answers my question well. So this is for the entire, like anyone can take this. So according to you at your brands, what are some of the practical ways automation has helped improve the day-to-day operations at multi locations, be it order, speed, consistency, especially waste reduction or cost efficiency?
I think what Mohit has rightly said, that why you need automation right now, because you need standardization and consistency, right? And I think coffee is the most craziest product. It acts differently all the time, right? So there are 5 different stages where you can change the profile of a coffee, right from how it has been grown, how it has been processed, how it has been roasted, how it has been grounded, and then how it is brewed, right? So in a cafe, like we from the grinding of beans to the brewing, they're the 2 things which we can control if we can. So we make sure that anyone who's coming to us, and see, coffee is a very, very personal thing. Like if my coffee is bad, it will ruin my entire mood.
Absolutely.
And the vice versa as well. If the coffee is good, I can have a good start for the day. So there are certain things where we are all going for the automation in our cafes. There's one which Mathur Saab has rightly said about the tempering, because every barista in a cafe uses a different pressure and it gives a different shot. So if we have an automated temper, I think that is something which is, I think most of the cafes they are going for. And the good thing is it's not a very, very expensive technology too.
Okay.
You get a good temper, starts from 20,000-25,000 and it goes up to 70,000-80,000. But
Okay.
the entry level is not that expensive. So I think that is something where we need automation. And secondly, earlier we all used to have a grinder which is manual.
Okay.
These days you have an automatic grinder where you get a grind by weight or grind by time, so you can select like that. And this is a very basic thing which every cafe has these days. So I think these are the kind of automations which are not something which we can say, oh wow, that is something like only one of the cafes is using it. This is, I think, every
They're becoming a mandate now.
yeah, it's becoming a mandate. And definitely the kind of machines we have coffee like semi-automatic machines which most of the cafes use in India. The starting range is around 1.5 and it goes up to 15 lakh or 20 lakh rupees. And there are cafes which are investing highly on the technology, because end of the day they want their product has to be right. So I think this is very much required these days.
So for us, technology is there in every part of the business, and to manage such a scale where we serve close to for 5 to 6 lakh beverages every week. Technology is at every part, and just to give you a few examples, for instance, even to control our wastages, and we are on a fresh model, we do not use any preservatives, and it is all fresh deliveries on a day-to-day basis. We are sitting at a wastage percentage of less than 1%, and that's for a cafe and fresh businesses is great. And why it is so? Because we plan for it using technology. Simple example would be, if I know that this is something that is going to get expired by end of day today at 1 a.m. in the night, I will have, and I know that this is the potential sale that I'll do. So while probably my system would identify it, and if I'm going to waste it, it will create an offer around it, put it on the display automatically, and when the customer comes in, I just increase the demand. So it's just about finding out the opportunities at the right time and then using technology to execute it. You pick up any stage, you go to a cafe. So our main fundamental part of the business is, if my staff is only spending time in making sure that the product is right, then I'm really not taking care of the customer. The staff should be out there talking to the customer, taking care of them, and the kitchen should run in just like in a pilot mode. So the benefit that technology gives is that the kitchen runs in a pilot mode and the staff is out there in front of the customer. So we moved from a QSR to a table servicing without adding any manpower, and our operations have just moved from a QSR to a table service.
That's actually really good. Yes, to you, Weber.
That's commendable, because I think what you speak about is a problem we often encounter, because you're right. If the staff is focused on making a perfect product, they forget to notice the requirement of a guest. We so far have only used automation in terms of, like Dushyant said, semi-automatic machines, some grinders, some weighing scales, some blenders which are semi-automatic, and of course mostly processes to control wastage. Like, we also take pride being fresh and everyday produce, our wastage is minimized, but that's more to do with processes of SOPs and some technological softwares which allow you to follow those processes. But beyond that, I wish to have technology available. We often think of having smart kitchens where certain base preparations could be made and stored and be ready for the next process of plating, but it's still, we haven't reached that stage. I mean, I still want a human touch to be enabled there, but with every stage where we, for example, took an example of, we do very good smoothies, and there was a period where with frozen ice, our smoothies were breaking blenders and taking a lot of time. So we tried different methods. We tried to standardize the portions and then kind of batch them to be ready. We tried to work with certain clean brands who would give us frozen fruit pulp and just do it. So that was a sort of automation inclination that we started. But you know, the thing with automation is, unless it's only limited to process technology, we don't have the options available to even move into that direction right now. With beverage craft, of course, we would love to one day bottle everything that we produce. And that is our intention, to fresh batch produce. And if it's possible, then why not? I think I'll leave that comment to Pranav, because...
No, right. So I think automation what we have spoken about, but what we are currently working on is trying to connect the grinder and the machine connected and speak to each other. That's the stage one, where your espresso should be consistent depending upon the grinder, and both should be able to communicate. At some point in time, that access to cloud, which allows you to get data on what beverages are figuring out, right? And then transitioning to a level where at a scale, which cafe is performing how based upon the espresso coming out, and then you can forecast your breakdowns, right? Because we know how machine is performing, and then we know at what point in time the maintenance could be automated, because that's another thing which we think is important, because breakdown is opportunity cost for any cafe, right? And you want to minimize it, or probably have a planned downtime than an unplanned downtime. So yeah.
Right. Do we have any startups or anyone who's just startup with a new cafe? Anybody in the... Okay. So yeah, because this question was specially asked offline. Someone mailed me that, for this panel. So for someone who's starting a new cafe or a beverage brand, how early should they think about automation? Like, because you all are an expert, what's one thing you wish you knew when you started?
I think the only vision I had that when I started off is that I want to give a fantastic product to the people. That was the only vision I had initially. But yes, when I knew that, okay, our tribe is putting confidence in whatever we do, and now we can think further of having more stores and expanding our business. I think that is a time when we think, okay, now we should work on standardizing our product, because I cannot be everywhere. Not my seniors can be my senior staff is everywhere. So at that time, the automation is something which you require the most. But I think initially, when you are just like one store, I think why people will come to you is because of you. So you should be the biggest brand ambassador of your brand. I always say that. If I don't love coffee, I cannot sell coffee. So you have to be aligned with your brand, and people should know that whatever the brand is doing is the same value system what you have.
As Dushant mentioned, that the way that you serve the customers is get the product right, and everything else will follow. My one advice, because I've seen this happening for 10 years now, is that when you launch a new product, take some time in breaking down that process and simplifying it as much as possible. And simplification is the key. It might take you, let's say, a couple of weeks to get to the simplification part, solve for it. You don't compromise on the taste, you don't compromise on anything else, but simplification is always there. And have that eye for automation, that if tomorrow I scale it out, this is the place where I'll scale it out. And apply a 80-20 rule. 80% rule is, that product is as simple as even if I close my eyes, I should be able to make that product. 20% is where the craft comes in, because even if you automate 80% at a later point of time, you would be in the right place. So the only advice is spend time in defining that SOP, break that product down into multiple steps, remove all redundant steps, make it as simple process that if a conveyor belt is running, I should be able to get my product out. So that's the only additional advice on top of, but don't compromise with the product, because that's a short-term thinking.
You're saying it.
I would say if you're starting something unique, then it's a product, like you said. If you're starting something which already exists, then your defining factor is the innovation you can bring in, and that's where automation can be a defining factor. It's a differentiator. Otherwise, I think it's a product is the key.
So, moving further, like for growing brands, especially for brands like Chayos, which is, you just told that you've reached 210. Yeah. So, for growing brands, automation is often key to scaling. You've just mentioned that, as Dushyant was saying, that if you have a single store, then automation is still at the backbench. But once scalability factor is there, then it needs to be involved. But how has technology helped you grow across locations while maintaining the same quality experience?
So see, people in the cafes are the most important part of this puzzle. Our business is very tough as well as very simple. Tough in execution, but simple in the thought. And people come at the forefront of everything. So you'll not be able to automate things. So the way I look at it and the way my team functions is that I am called as an efficiency enabler. And wherever I can plug in an efficiency and cut down on their efforts is how I look at problems and solve for it. And that's where we started investing in technology back in 2015. And fortunate to have built multiple products over 10 years now. So the key to scaling is simplified processes. Make sure that you have your eyes on the ground, even if you're not there at the outlet. So you have to have a lot of check metrics in place, which you are getting from different places. We do video analytics of CCTV, we do a bit of audio analytics, we do image analytics, and we get those signals. And those signals are very important for you to understand what is going wrong. And the second is be very close to the customers. We know 90% of our customers through OTP verified phone numbers. And one of the things that we do is we use it for promotional activities also. But one of the things that we do is that we have a personalized experience for each one of our customers when they come to the cafe. So personalization, knowing who your customer is, again adds to the overall scale. So for us, it does not really get tough for us. The only tough part is finding good location, rest everything, is just a process. It's a 45-day process, and you get onto the process and you get done with it. And you open a new store with as same experience as you would open a previous experience. Yeah.
Anyone else? Yes.
I think expansion, because I don't think they're growing, they are grown. I mean, they're as grown as one should be. We are in a growing stage, and I think for us to even survive, sustain, and repeat what we're doing, automation in process and equipment will be the only way possible, because depending on individual capabilities and heroicism, whatever, of chefs and baristas and all of that will not remain consistent as you grow. So like Mohit earlier mentioned, he's like the enabler of innovation. So finding those areas is something I also keep looking at, which could completely remain independent of an individual. And hence, I'm constantly looking out for automating things, equipment as well as processes.
Very good. I think the entire training curve for the employees has become shorter, because we don't want to waste time in training many people. And looking at today's time when we have a lot of attrition happening in the industry, so it's very important that we have our SOPs and automation in place, because anyone who leaves and anyone who comes back, we don't give them much time, so they are on board, a bit of a training, and yes, they're ready to take off.
This
So I
is one
think-
of the biggest challenges.
I think this is the biggest challenge right now, because we all, if we are sitting on this table, we all have created, by God's grace, good products, right?
Sure.
So I think the only way we can go further is making sure that whatever we have thought of is very well communicated and given to the end customer.
Sure. Got it. Yes, Pranav.
No, I think what we as copy machines try to enable consumers is that, one, do codify your SOPs, right? At least the founder
Okay.
should have the recipe codified, so it becomes easy to then translate across the team. Second, I think as far as coffee is concerned, milk is as fresh as it can be. Coffee is where a lot of people end up, I would say wholesale buying, right? And the idea is,
Okay.
please don't do that, right? Try to keep your coffee fresh. You have enough
Sure.
roasters across the entire country growing and budding. Ask them to ship you something every once a week, right? But you need to know your demand and use data to help you grow that demand, so that you are not overstocked but not understocked also, right? Because stale coffee is bad end of the day. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So with this, I think so. This would be the now last because we have to start the next session also. So I've just got a signal from Honey. So now, but yes, before I conclude the session, I want each one of you to actually let the audience know about the most trending thing in cafe industry, like related to automation. Like, what's, like, according to you, what's the trend in cafe industry if you relate it to automation? Like the trend, the vibe
So,
in the cafe industry.
like my friends already said, SOP is the king in our
Yes.
business. Where we fail brilliantly at is we do not monitor them wisely. And I think
Sure.
SOP monitoring is what is trending right now. You would see a lot of companies. I saw a couple of companies today as well doing video analytics or and stuff like that. So ensuring that those SOPs are adhered and you get the right signals and then you act on them quickly, as opposed to giving weeks of time for the SOP to be fixed, I think is the trending trend right now. And with all AI and everything coming in, it has made it very easy. So a lot of things are plug and play. You just decide that you need to spend on it, and the next day is where the solution is readily available to you.
So SOP monitoring, you said.
I would want to say that, but it'll be too late to do that. Maybe, automation in the sense that a consumer, because society is going more and more introvert, maybe on the consumer side, a trend that I can possibly notice is zero interaction ordering,
Okay.
where they get to place order without interacting with anybody, because I think maybe socially there could be a chance that urban cities, urban dwellers are possibly moving in the right direction, because I see several solitary souls who don't want to be spoken to. they'd be happy to write down their order and leave it on a sticker. So
Okay.
maybe automation that enables that could be something that could.
That is already happening, I think. So, majority of the QSR, especially all these McDonald's and all, we are already experiencing that.
Yeah, with
Yes.
kiosks, but
Yeah.
that could change into a different cafe setting also, where you're just
Yes.
sitting on your table and you're avoiding a
Okay.
confrontation. Is
Okay.
something I think is due.
Great. Yes.
So I think the data is the most important thing these days, right?
Yes.
And I think most of the cafes, they're launching their own apps. So we also
Okay.
launched our own app 2 weeks ago. And I think why we did it so
Your own app.
yeah, like
Oh, that's amazing. Yes.
cafe app, and I think like other brands also do it. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
something new.
definitely.
But I think this is the best ways for the entire customer journey has become more simpler, you know.
Okay.
So they can order while sitting at the table, or they can just order for the self pickup, and it's more like a loyalty program.
Sure.
So I think there is something which is beneficial to every brand. This I think automation is required there as well.
Yeah.
So for us, I think most of the coffee is being served across the country is cappuccino. I think our focus is now that we're seeing trending is automatic milk steaming or the foamed milk being produced, right? Because I think
Okay.
that's where the only thing across coffee is milk which gets wasted. I think
Okay.
what steamed milk gets wasted at most of the times, and that's what I see large chains now working towards of automating that part, so that whatever that 1-2% wastage is still controlled for.
Thank you so much, everybody, for being
Thank you,
here.
Penny.